Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're a developer, you know that moving your apps to the cloud means a whole new world of tools to learn. Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest questions you'll face. Where are you going to put your data? So let's dive into the database landscape on AWS. So, your app is moving to AWS. That's awesome. But right away, a huge question pops up. For years, you probably had your go-to database on-premise, but in the cloud, the game totally changes. Suddenly, you're looking at a whole new menu of options, and the choice you make is going to impact everything: your app's performance, how it scales, and even the way you write your code.
Okay, let's get into it. Before we even start comparing specific database services, it's really helpful to understand the basic ways you'll be interacting with any of them on AWS, because no matter which one you pick, your workflow is pretty much going to fall into one of three buckets.
Basically, you've got three main doors you can walk through. You can use the AWS console, which is the web-based interface, great for visual setup and management. Then there's the command line interface, or CLI, which is perfect for scripting and automating tasks. And, most importantly for us developers, there are the software development kits, or SDKs, which let your actual application code talk directly to the database. Now, if you've been working with traditional databases, you're probably thinking, okay, this is all new, but where's the stuff I already know? What's the comfortable option for the apps I already have? You're looking for something that feels just like the SQL databases you've used for years. And well, AWS has a perfect answer for that.
And that answer is Amazon RDS, which stands for Relational Database Service. Its job is pretty simple. It gives you a managed home for your relational databases in the cloud. Think of it this way. RDS handles all the tough operational stuff, like patching the software, running backups, and handling scaling, so you can just focus on your app's data model and writing your queries.
And what's really cool about this is that RDS isn't just one database. It's a service that can manage 6 of the most popular database engines out there. So whether your team loves MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, or even big enterprise systems like Oracle, RDS has got you covered. This is absolutely huge for migrating existing apps because you can often move them without having to do a major rewrite. Okay, so that covers the traditional stuff. But what if you're building something different, something modern, that just doesn't fit neatly into rows and columns? Maybe an app that needs to handle a ton of different data types, scale to millions of users, or change really fast. For that, you need a different kind of tool.
And this is where Amazon DynamoDB shines. It's AWS's own flagship NoSQL database. It was built from the ground up for just 3 things: incredible speed, massive scale, and being always on. It's not relational. It uses flexible models like key-value pairs and documents, which are perfect for the kinds of demands modern apps have.
So, why did NoSQL even become a thing? It really boils down to what today's applications demand. They have to deal with all kinds of data, not just neat, structured tables. Development is super fast, so you need a data model that can change without a huge headache. And of course, users expect services to be available 24/7 and to scale without a hitch. NoSQL was literally designed to solve these exact problems.
All right, this is the big one. We've got RDS, our reliable, structured workhorse, and we've got DynamoDB, our flexible, high-performance engine. They're both powerful, but they're very different. So how in the world do you actually choose between them for your project? Let's break it down. On one side, with RDS, you're getting that familiar tabular data model with a fixed, predefined schema. You talk to it with SQL. To make it bigger, you usually scale vertically, meaning you get a more powerful server. On the other hand, DynamoDB gives you a flexible key value or document model. The schema is dynamic, you can change it on the fly. You talk to it with simple API calls. And to scale it, you go horizontally. You just add more machines, giving it almost limitless scale. So when you see that comparison, the question just writes itself, right? Okay, I get the theory, but how does this actually map to my project? Which one fits the problem I'm trying to solve right now? And here's where the rubber meets the road. It's all about picking the right tool for the job. For things where data consistency and structure are everything, like e-commerce transactions or accounting systems, RDS is the perfect fit. But for things like real-time bidding, mobile apps, or gaming leaderboards, where you need lightning-fast reads and writes and a schema that can evolve, DynamoDB is the hands-down winner. Okay, decision made. You've picked your champion. Now what? How do you actually, connect to it and start building? Let's walk through those first few steps.
The cool thing is, getting started is pretty much the same 4-step dance for either one. First, you hop into the AWS console and either create your RDS instance or your DynamoDB table.
Step 2, and this is super important, you configure security, setting up network rules and permissions. Step 3, you grab your connection details. For RDS, that's a database endpoint. For DynamoDB, it's an ARN, or Amazon Resource Name. And finally, with that in hand, you can use the AWS SDK in your favorite language to connect your app and start working with your data.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important takeaway. This choice isn't just about what your app needs today. It's about what it's going to need tomorrow. So as you're designing, ask yourself this. As my application grows and changes, will its data need the strict consistency of a table or the incredible flexibility of a document? Answering that question will point you in the right direction every time.
And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the database landscape on AWS. If this helped you out, do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with your team, and subscribe for more explainers like this one. Thanks so much for watching.